is you good, and you can put an exclamation mark there, and it means hello. But what I'm showing you is this, that a woman and a child together is good. So that's what's so beautiful about Chinese, is that many characters, some, like I say, you can read, I can read something that was written 3,000 years ago, and I still know what it means. It means mountain. Yeah? It's the same. It hasn't changed. And the other thing is that if you say good, when you say good to your friends, you say that's good, or it tastes good, it just means it's just a word. Yeah? But in Chinese, it actually has a meaning, which is that for a man, it's best to have a woman and a child, and that way everything's good. Or another tree. It's a tree. You can see it's a tree. It looks like a tree.
Yes.
More or less. It's a simple tree.
That have trees.
Well, okay, you can call it many things. I see you could. Okay, fine. Very Catholic. But it's actually a tree in Chinese.
I can take a
tree. Now, what do you think this means? Two trees together. Yes, very good, a forest. And what do you think this means? A jungle. Exactly. So it's very amusing how Chinese also combines different characters together, and they're again like pictures. So you learn that this is a tree. Of course you have to learn it's a tree. It doesn't look like a tree with leaves and everything. It's like an image of a tree. And then when you have two, it's a forest. When you have three, it's a jungle. And that's how much of the Chinese works. So many of these are images. What? I have to write them.
Can you later send them to
Sure.
and then they will handle?
We can have it.
So don't worry.
I won't worry. I can't worry because this is a very small whiteboard. Okay, now we're going to do the numbers.
Don't worry, we are going to receive them, so do not worry.
But you could try and write it down because another thing that's important. I was telling you briefly about dictionary, right? I'll send you the characters later by computer or somehow. What I was going to tell you about the dictionary is that you can imagine if it's so difficult to know how to pronounce a word. If you see this word, for example, any word like this. Well, that's not a good example. Let's see. That one that we just. No, here exactly. Good. Okay. But if you don't know, how do you look it up in a dictionary? There are no sounds. There are no letters. So it's very difficult. So what you have to do is you have to know how to write it. So you have to know that it's always written like this first. That's one stroke. They're called strokes. Okay. Then the next one is this. Yes. Then the next one is this. Then the next one is this. That's all one. And then the final one is this. And it's they're strokes. And it's absolutely vital, it's important. You can't write it any other way. You can't start there, you can't start down there, you can't go up or left. Or you always start from there.
But these are the same?
Yes.
Yes, I'm just showing. This is the first one, second one, third one, fourth one, fifth one, five. So,
I have a question.
Yes.
But we can change the size and it will be the same? No.
No. You can't, because it would mean something different and it would look different. And I'll show you why that is important, because it's like when you write when you sign a name. You've seen your parents sign names, they write very, very fast, but they always write it the same way. So for example, here's a beautiful character that is dragon, okay? It looks like this. Dragon. That's a dragon. We can pronounce it.
It's a dragon.
Long. Everybody say long.
Like
Long. That's a dragon. Yeah.
it's because in the TV program that is long.
Long.
And it's Dragon Occidental.
It's
Oriental.
Oriental.
I don't know how to say in English, but so I'm thinking that long is by the dragon because he's a kid and at the same time he's a dragon.
Oh, I see, the Dragon King, the Dragon Emperor you're talking about. Yes, that's the dragon is always very important in China as a symbol of the emperor and related. Yes.
Yes.
That's very true. But what I'm showing here is long. Also, perhaps you learned that the dragon in China is very good. He never eats princesses, and he never gets killed by princes or by knights. He's a good. In China, the dragons are. They're playful, they're like children, they're playful, they're strong of course, but they play around the heavens and they're usually very... So anyway, I'm showing you this because it's a character with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 strokes. Okay, just one character. 16 strokes, you see, 1, 2, 3, all these strokes. This one only has 5. But you have to always start up here because when you write like a signature, when people write fast, they will write it like this. Like that. It's the same, yeah? But it's like cursiva, it's like cursive scripts. But if you start down here, then it would look all it would all get all complicated, it wouldn't work, and you can't do that. So you always start, and that's why when you're writing characters, you always have to start at the top left and go down like that. But you have to learn each one by itself, really. And that's also important for the dictionary, as I was saying, because when you see this character, you don't know how to pronounce it. You don't know.
But we say long.
Yeah, but how do you know that? Because I told you.
Dragon.
Because I told you. I told you that it's long. But if you don't know that it's long, if it's a different character, you don't know how to look it up. So in the dictionary, you have to count the strokes. I'm not going to explain it in detail, just so that you have an idea. In the dictionary in Chinese, because you do not know how to pronounce it, you have a character, so you have to just say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to here. And then you look up on a page that has 5 strokes, and then you add the other strokes. So it's very complicated. One day you can look at a dictionary, but you see the Chinese characters, looking them up in a book, in a dictionary, is difficult. And that's why you have to know in which order to write them. Okay, enough.
No.
Leave that one. Okay.
Like this we write dragon?
Dragon. No. It's
Pacho.
long.
Pacho.
L-O-N-G. Long. That's the dragon.
Yes, I
Good. Okay, now we're going to do the numbers. So these you can write down. They're
I
quite
don't
simple.
know. Long? I don't know.
E.
That is number 1?
That's number 1. You can read it with me when I say it. As I say, the Chinese children always repeat everything after their teacher. They don't usually... they're very disciplined. And they always say, so, I say E. Good. But I know so half of you say it. You're actually all meant to say it. E. Sounds better. R.
Ah.
Good.
Uh-huh.